Hello, subscribers. James Stevenson back with another episode of James and Loki's Gems of the Week, your exclusive, subscriber exclusive weekly series in which Loki and I talk you through all the tweets that I liked over the previous week and talk about why I liked them. I am never going to get used to calling them posts instead of tweets. You can see Loki is back there, those little eyebrows dancing around. Tucked behind his new blankie that we got him, his freshly laundered bed, his crab stuff, plush stuffed crab toy. He's got a lot going on. You can keep an eye on Loki in the Loki Cam, as always, while I turn my attention to reviewing all the posts that I liked over the previous week and talking about why I liked them. I apologize if my voice sounds a bit haggard right now. I've done some traveling recently and have a sore throat, but I am soldiering on with this video because my promise to you is that there's going to be a James and Loki's Gems of the Week episode every week. And I am no quitter like that Rob Mauer. I'm joking. Of course I'm joking. The legend Rob Mauer. 6 years of doing a video every day or thereabouts. And that's the thanks he gets from me. No, everyone, of course, in the Tesla community appreciates Rob Mauer and all he has done. Me, probably most of all. Great source of info. I'm going to have a lot more work ahead of me keeping up with Tesla with no Rob Mauer around. All right. So last week, the last tweet that we liked was from Jeremy Judkins with this fun little video about people complaining. Here's one from Bad Frenchies revealing problems with Hertz and the experience people may have with their first Tesla if they rent one through Hertz. I know why Tesla rentals have disappointed. Hertz is a disaster. EV or not, Tesla is a premium rental, but at ATL, the cars are dirty inside and out. Alignment is off. Then they rent it at 56% full. Tell you to return it with that much or more, 65% in my case, and charge you $35 for refill anyway. I love my two Teslas, but if this was my first experience in one, I wouldn't be back. Hashtag do better. Tagging Hertz Tesla and Martin Vieca, Tesla's VP of Investor Relations here. So, yeah, that's like nobody renting this Tesla would come away with the impression that Teslas are a lot cheaper to operate than a regular car because of all these fees, right? If they're going to pay a lot of money to rent a Tesla, they're not going to appreciate how inexpensive they are to recharge. So do better, Hertz, or don't offer any Teslas at all. Here's one from Herbert Ong, Brighter with Herbert, at Herbert Ong on X. News, Stellantis CEO Carlos Tavares issues a warning against reckless EV price cuts, foreseeing a potential industry bloodbath, a strategic move to avoid a race to the bottom and protect profits. Insightful perspective on the evolving EV landscape. I had to reply to this. Let's see what I said. Translation: we still haven't figured out how to make any money selling EVs at current prices. Give us a few years to figure it out, please. Herbert replied, how did I not know you speak multiple language? Legacy speak is pretty old. I said, oh yeah, super common for CEOs to warn their competitors against cutting prices. Remember 20 years ago when LG's CEO kept warning competitors not to lower the price of big screen TVs? That's why 42-inch TVs still cost $3,000 each. You remember that? You remember when if you wanted a 42-inch TV, you had to spend $3,000 for it? You might be able to get one for less than $300 today. Yeah, you can't. Hey, it's price fixing to conspire with your competitors to not lower prices. That's against the law, for starters. But yeah, there was another reply here, not from Herbert. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, Dutchy insightfully said a few more years, and I replied, yes, they've had plenty of time already. How old is the Renault Zoe? And then I looked it up myself after Dutchy replied, concept shown in 2009. Production versions started deliveries in 2012, 6 months after the Model S. Yeah, so Carlos Tavares has been making EVs almost as long as Tesla has been making Model S. And I had to reply for clarification here preemptively for those itching to helpfully explain to me that Renault isn't one of Stellantis's brands. I know, but Carlos Tavares was the chief operating officer of Renault when they launched the Zoe. So he was the guy explaining the new EV from Renault, right? As it says here in this screenshot. He was working for Carlos Ghosn. Carlos and Carlos were running Renault at the time. Just kind of sounds like a sitcom or something. Carlos and Carlos running Renault. All right, so I'll back out of here and keep scrolling on up to this tweet from Tim West. I disagree, but hear what you're saying. The long-run cost curve thankfully is down, which means the BEVs get cheaper each year. Since 2012, the cost of a 100 kilowatt-hour battery has gone down from $60,000 to $15,000. And in another 10 years will be down to $5,000. Factor in inflation, and the battery is really at $10,000 already in 2013 dollars. A huge accomplishment. EVs can be charged from solar panels, which are 90% cheaper than 10 years ago, which will cap charging costs at around 5 cents a kilowatt hour. Check out Tony Seba videos to get up to speed on long-run cost curves and their impact on technology. I was the only person to like this tweet. So this is one of the times when it's the best for you to watch this video. Nobody else liked that tweet but me. Why? Because it was buried so deep in this thread. Steve Malloy began by posting, the government says EV maker credits based on the fantasy that they are almost 7 times as efficient as they really are. When car makers test gasoline-powered vehicles for compliance with the Transportation Department's fuel efficiency rules, they must use real values measured in a laboratory. By contrast, under an Energy Department rule, car makers can arbitrarily multiply the efficiency of electric cars by 6.67. This means that although a 2022 Tesla Model Y tests at the equivalent of about 65 miles per gallon in a laboratory, it is counted as having an absurdly high compliance value of 430 miles per gallon. That number has no basis in reality or law. For exaggerating electric car efficiency, the government rewards car makers with compliance credits they can trade for cash. Economists estimate these credits could be worth billions, a vast cross-subsidy invented by bureaucrats and paid for by every person who buys a new gasoline-powered car. So the usual electric car FUD from the Wall Street Journal. To which Tim West replied, I have driven EVs since 2016, so this is my 9th year measuring efficiency of several EVs during this time. I put in kilowatt hours and I get out miles. I get over 3 miles on 1 single kilowatt hour. 1 kilowatt hour at the marginal cost is close to 15 cents, so I am traveling 3 miles on 15 cents or 5 cents a mile. Compare driving 30 miles per gallon and paying $3 a gallon, and you are paying 10 cents per mile. At $6 per gallon, 20 miles per gallon, that figure jumps to 2 to 6x the cost of gasoline fuel. So, if you use the conservative multiple of 2x or the aggressive one at 6x, a 30 mile per gallon vehicle would rate somewhere between 60 miles per gallon to 180 miles per gallon equivalent. At the end of the day, it is all economics and the total cost of driving a mile that will matter in the end. So I hope you see how EVs are at least a possible improvement versus gasoline and diesel engines. Perhaps this isn't enough convincing, but be open to information and I will too. I just realized I can't read you all of this, but pause that and read through it if you want. Wait until you need a new battery, complained Stan McChapman. 26 grand last time I looked, factor that in. And then the massively rising insurance costs, assuming you can get insured. In the UK, it's horrendously expensive. Tim says, looks like it could be closer to $10,000 to $15,000 and should be dropping each year. By the time you need to replace a Tesla battery in 3 to 5 years, it could be down to $5,000 to $8,000. So there you go. Good info from Tim West. So if you don't follow 87 Spider on X, now is a good time to do that. Okay, the next tweet that I liked came from Chris Anderson. Finally, it's here. The book infectiousgenerosity.org goes on sale today. I would dearly love to know what you make of it. For what it's worth, I'm convinced that the thesis of this book may well be playing out in real time right here on X. I see plenty of nastiness here, sure, but also a growing number of people dedicated to sharing insight, wonder, laughter, and yes, kindness. I would love it if you would come on this journey with me, get the book and read it, come join me here in trying to find and amplify the best parts of X, of which there are many. Maybe we can even get the algorithms on board. A lot hangs on this. By the way, all author proceeds go to TED, a nonprofit where I've been volunteering the last 20 years. Chris is being very modest when he says it's a nonprofit where he's been volunteering for the last 20 years. I think he is the founder and owner of TED. Somebody correct me on that if you know differently. You can pick up a copy here or at your local bookstore, and if you can't afford a copy, ping me, chris@ted.com, and I'll try to get you one. So, Infectious Generosity, go check it out if that book interests you. Chris is nice enough to follow me on X, so I have always found that to be very cool. He's been following me for years and years. Here's one from Short Shorts Historian at Tesla Historian, this day in Tesla Q history. Tesla short thesis from 5 years ago from at Wheels88 Fortune, investment boarder. You used to see this account all the time, replying to Tesla, good news, with Doom's saying, Doom's soothing, whatever the word is that I'm looking for. Hashtag Tesla. No Model 3 demand in the USA. China factory will never happen. Europe pump, a total joke, the Berlin Gigafactory. Hashtag Tesla Q soon, meaning Tesla will go bankrupt soon. In not even that well-coded code. Yeah, because he thought the Taycan and the e-tron were Tesla killers. They were going to bankrupt Tesla because the Tesla China factory was a big mud field with some digging going on. That is great. Great work by Tesla Historian, so I gave that one a like. Here's one from not Melanie, but Melanine T at Melanine T45 on X. Done. Looks like an awesome product. Plus, I'm happy to support Elon. I love his views on free speech. What's going on here? We have to scroll up a lot to find this tweet from Tesla Fud L, a recent hater. Fun fact, 58% of Americans say they won't buy an EV. Sorry, hashtag Tesla. I had to reply to this. 3 years ago, it was 75%. 5 years ago, it was 85%. 10 years ago, it was 95%. Are you getting it? Do you see how this works? Almost as though it's following a well-understood cycle of technological disruption. And then I blew him a kiss, which I do frequently with the Tesla Q trolls. I ratioed the bejesus out of him, I should say, 824 to 52. And he replied, next year it'll be 65% of Americans due to PR disasters. Melanine said, what PR disasters? Fuddle said, Cybertruck range, Cybertruck towing, EV stuck due to ice storm, also mean reversion. Like, if you get stuck in traffic in an ice storm, you will have far less anxiety in a Tesla than you will have in a gasoline car, because your gasoline car needs to keep the engine running to keep the heat on. So you will burn through your remaining gasoline a lot faster in an ICE vehicle than you will run through your remaining state of charge from your battery pack. In a Tesla, most of the energy used in your Tesla is for driving, for accelerating the car forward up hills or at high speed against air resistance, right? So your Tesla's going to last you a long time with the heat on, a lot longer than the gas cars around you. I'm not sure what you're talking about. What's the PR disaster? I just looked it up, and apparently Cybertruck has 340 miles of range and 11,000 pounds of towing. That's incredible. Basically the same metrics as my gas truck. Unless mean reversion means something different than what I thought, maybe I'll order one. Fuddle replied, these are stats when people are getting 100 to 200 miles of range. They lied about the range and towing. Melanine T replied, interesting, what's your source for that? Are you saying that they are lying about the range results it got in independent EPA testing? Why wouldn't the EPA sue them if so? Fuddle said the government is corrupt. Oh, yeah, sure. Sounds to me like the government has a PR problem, not Tesla. Also sounds to me like maybe Tesla could sue you for libel if you were explicitly accusing them of fraud without any evidence. Fuddle replied, people are posting these ranges on the internet, look it up. Link, so here's a link to somebody saying they got only 164 miles of range. The car is a dream to drive. What a PR disaster. Now I'm definitely going to order one. Thanks for the idea. That's very clever. From Melanie and T. So well played. That's how you fight the FUD. Okay. Here's one from Matt Smith. This is the catalyst we needed. Hashtag Tesla. What's the catalyst? Jim Cramer cut Tesla from the Magnificent Seven. Here's his new name for the basket of megacap tech stocks. Funny. So yeah, you bet against Cramer, you'll do pretty well. History says. Here's one from Elon Alerts at Elon Alerts. Elon Musk liked a post from James Stevenson. So this was my video about Frank Wunderlich Pfeiffer. That's very unusual for Elon to like one of my Who's Hating Hard on Tesla Today videos. I like all of these, though. How do you not click like when you get an alert that Elon liked one of your posts, which is kind of the only way you're going to find out unless you're watching your notifications constantly and see it when it comes through. Here's one from Dutchy. No shame here. What are we talking about? Well, the thread was begun by Dutchy at Dutchy Wiegans. What is the H? Sloppy bio, sloppy posts from TBB, Tesla Bear Bull, another recent Tesla hater. Exposing hashtag Tesla FHD, fraud unicorns delusions. Does unicorns begin with an H? I don't think I want to know what unicorns are, but I guess that's what he's into. No shame. No shame here. Very funny. So I gave that one a like. Good work, Dutchy. Here's one from XILL at XIL underscore LLIX. Legacy manufacturers' electrification plans. Stellantis 1 million by 2024. Last year they sold 350,000. So they're going to need to triple their sales in 2024. It's not impossible, but they're not going to do it. 5 million by 2030. Okay, link to presentation, 54 pages. Let me click through here. Oh, yeah. So this is a whole thread of, for every legacy automaker, how many EVs have they claimed they're going to make recently. So if you go back long enough, you can find that almost all of them have missed their targets. Like BYD may have hit their targets, but nearly everybody else has, at some point in time, claimed we're going to sell 1 million by 2020 or whatever. Here's Hyundai, target a 34% BEV production in 2030. I mean, they're pacing fine to hit that, I think. Honda 100% plug-in hybrids, fuel cells, and BEVs by 2040. What a joke. What a joke this is. 16 years from now, will anybody currently in senior management at Honda still be in senior management in 16 years? No? Well, maybe that's why they chose this target. How far out in the future can we set a target that everyone will have forgotten by the time it comes due? 16 years? Sounds good to me. Audi, 100% BEVs in 2026. Good luck, Audi. I don't think they're going to hit that. A Toyota supplier, AISIN, I'm not even sure how they pronounce that, restructuration of the supply chain, insight into the challenges they face. As expected, some of their hopes rely on focusing on markets that will be lagging in electrification. Renault, 300,000 BEVs by 2025, 1 million by 2030. VW, 80% EVs in Europe and 55% in America by 2030. Maybe. Yeah, they might hit that. GM, updated target of 1 million BEVs by the end of 2025 and 30 BEV models by the same date. They're so off course, it's unbelievable. They were projecting 10 billion in BEV revenues in 2023, and they've achieved 20% of that. Wow. Yeah, they're behind. Ford, the future is now uncertain as they are scaling back. These were the targets set in July 2022. That isn't that long ago. 50% BEV sales by 2030. 600,000 by late 2023. They did less than 20% of that. Target pushed to 2024, but that's totally unrealistic. Yeah, they are not going to hit 600,000 this year, 2024. BMW Group, shockingly, claimed 50% BEVs before 2030. Even though this is the group that's constantly coming out and saying they don't think people want to buy BEVs. Mercedes-Benz up to 50% PHEVs and BEVs by 2025. Well, up to is a funny way of saying it, because then you can say that you achieved it with any number less than 50%. That's not how target setting works. Mazda at least 25% BEVs by 2030, and the rest plug-in hybrids. They're way behind on that. Like, 6 years is a long time. They might get there, but they're going to have to do a lot more than they've been doing. Toyota, 3.5 BEVs globally by 2030, which is a funny typo. 3.5 million BEVs globally by 2030, which would still only be about a third of their current production. Maybe they're planning to be a much smaller company by 2030. Or maybe they will be, even though they weren't planning for that to happen. Jaguar, 100% electric by 2030. Okay. They don't make that many vehicles anyhow, so probably they can get there. So a good thread. Here's one from Zhang Wen, 2005, posting Song Gang, Vice President of Manufacturing Tesla Shanghai Superworks Tesla Limited. We hope to make the hashtag Tesla Shanghai Energy Storage Factory a world benchmark. To which I replied, Megafactory China. Yeah, so let's build a megafactory in China. See how that helps Tesla earnings. It should help a lot. Here's one from Mark Anthony at Musk Stay Calm, posting, "This is my best friend. His name is Lincoln at Mob of Joggers. Mom, I have a best friend. Post your special best friend below." So both of these guys are great. Met them both in Austin at the Cybertruck First Deliveries event. Couldn't be nicer guys. They were very, very helpful to me, chauffeuring me around town and being very patient with my neediness as I was crashing after the event and in need of a lot of rest. Here's one from Short Shorts Historian at Tesla Historian. Once again, this day in Tesla Q history. Happy earnings day, everyone. Enjoy these tweets from 5 years ago while you wait for the interesting Tesla results to come. At Commuter NYC, I went back and forth with this troll a lot over the years. The hashtag Tesla story is on the last chapter. It is over. Call it a day. From 2019. 5 years ago. It's exciting watching Tesla die. Hashtag Tesla, hashtag Tesla Q. From Patrick Comack. Yep. Here's Wolfie at Wolfgang Pippiger. Hello all. Hashtag Tesla is a 0. Thank you. With a waving bear. A friendly bear waving. And LA Tri-Life, the Tri-City area of LA, known mostly to this individual. Never bet against hashtag Tesla Q. You're going to regret that tweet. Replying to Barkim Smeagol, who has been nothing but right. A very, very funny account. If you don't follow that one, you should. All right, next tweet from Alex_A Voigt on X. A fellow rebellionaire, VW declares defeat in China. VW CFO Antlitz. In the current environment, we expect our market share in China to decline. due to the faster growing market for electric cars. Ontlitz tries to claim that the environment is the reason why they can't compete with BYD, Tesla, or other Chinese manufacturers, but in reality, it's VW's inferior technology and management that have made the mistakes and created them shrinking in their most important region. Not long ago, 40% of the company's revenue came from China. The company has introduced measures to significantly improve its competitiveness, the CFO said. Until then, we do not expect an increase in market share in the next 2 years, rather the opposite. So they are telling their shareholders we're going to lose market share in China. It's not visible what measures the CFO refers to other than the price decreases. As of now, the BEV technology and software VW has developed is inferior to almost all other BEV manufacturers in the medium term. VW wants to maintain the current sales levels, he said. We are gearing our capacities towards this. While it's understandable that VW wants this, it's unclear how they can achieve it and stop the sales decline. Price decreases may support unit sales, but will create losses as the cost base at VW is way too high. VW employs vastly more human beings than any other legacy automaker does. Our ambition is to remain the largest international car manufacturer in China, said Ontlitz, but with shrinking market share that they're telegraphing. Okay, so I'll let you read the rest of this if you want. My video will be too long if I read all of this stuff. And up we go to the next tweet from Alojo. It's official now, fellow Rebellionaire, at ALOJOH. It's official now. I beat all these guys for the Tesla Q4 EPS forecast and was spot on with 71 cents. And took it to the 10th of a decimal place. So Alojo had actually published 0.711, and that was the number Tesla reported. So great work by Alojo. If you're not following that account, go ahead and do it. There's the 71 cents in the report, non-GAAP. The adjustment here was to remove like $1.50 worth of one-time tax credit. And also the stock compensation you always have to adjust for to get from GAAP to non-GAAP. I didn't know which way Tesla was going to report non-GAAP, whether they were going to leave that tax adjustment in there or take it out. We didn't know until we got it what it was going to be, and it's a huge letdown, and I wish I'd never heard of that one-time tax credit. And I could have just moved on with my day and never wasted a whole bunch of time trying to figure out what that number would be, because I ended up not getting it very close anyhow. Here's one from Scott Palamas. I mean, I got it closer than everybody who didn't forecast it, but it doesn't really matter anyway, because non-GAAP EPS is the one everybody cares about, not GAAP EPS. Regarding the Tesla call, here's my take. Last point is most important. Cybertruck conversion rate shouldn't have said that. 2024, so it's a 10% conversion rate. COGS have hit the bottom, shouldn't have said that. Better see prices rise now. Dojo is a gamble, shouldn't have said that. Nvidia applause roared right there. Optimus doesn't do anything meaningful yet, shouldn't have said that. If so, why post the video? Margins haven't bottomed until interest rates, yada yada, shouldn't have said that. Stock is dead until Fed cuts then. Lars finishing Elon's sentences, cool and bullish. I like Lars, me too. Comp comment explanation was what I expected, and I'm not concerned. I agree. This is Elon Musk's stock compensation, getting 25% of the company or whatever. I agree it's dangerous to have people like Ross and his buddy Dan O'Dowd swaying votes to destroy the future of Tesla, mostly parental-like concerns to me. No site reveal, bad. Megapack energy deployment, excellent. Showing energy numbers as a service and hardware growth stream is super bullish. No FSD license deal yet, shouldn't have said that, especially the part about they don't think it's real. Oof. So, overall, not a bad call. Great mood, great info. Love the new CFO for his accent and details. That's Voibov Taneja. That dude seems well prepared and knowledgeable. Last but actually not least, the number one most insightful and important detail on the call, over 1.6 million new Teslas sold this year went to first-time Tesla buyers. They said 90% of people who bought Teslas in 2023 had never owned a Tesla before. That's incredibly important and shows the truth about demand and affordability. Tesla has been saying demand is exceptionally high. They truly need some marketing genius to unlock some more customer trust, and they will be production constrained again. Super, super bullish detail. Buy some cheap stock. Q1 will be Q1. All right, so there you go. Good tweet there, I thought, from Scott Palamas. Not 100% bullish, like, you know the messaging delivered by the Tesla leadership team was not focus grouped and workshopped, right? They didn't let a communications director write their talking points for them because of all this shouldn't have said that Scott points out here. But they're leveling with Wall Street, right? They got a bunch of price target cuts for their honesty, but you know, that's what you sign up for when you're a Tesla investor. Elon is sometimes more honest and open and forthright than most CEOs would be. Here's a tweet from the accountant at CPA in NYC. This is Tony. 15 consecutive quarters of positive free cash flow. Since 2020, despite huge investments in factory footprint expansions, new product launches, R&D spend on FSD, Optimus, and next-gen platform, Tesla still generates excess cash. So this is just the free cash flow. I have a chart like this, but it shows you the operating cash flows less the capital spending, leaving the free cash flow under it on a stacked bar chart. This is just how much free cash flow is left after the capital spending is removed from the operating cash flows. Tesla is still generating, $1 billion or more worth of free cash flow in most quarters, which is pretty great. There are not a lot of companies that have this kind of consistency generating $1 billion or more worth of free cash flow. You're talking about really good companies or really profitable companies, if you can find a bunch that are doing better than that. Here's a tweet from Rebellionaire at Rebellionaire3 on X. We are proud to support OG Tesla analyst Andrea S. James as she talks Tesla. Being a working mom and family, check out her thread on her X timeline for a great read. And click that button. If you don't know who Andrea S. James is, she is one of the longest longest standing, most experienced, however you want to say it, Tesla bulls on Twitter. Like, she's been doing this for more than 10 years. You can find some old tweets from her fighting the FUD, telling folks, hey, Tesla has a shot at becoming a very large, very valuable company. She put together some forecasts for Tesla earnings that were much, much better than my own long-term Tesla earnings forecasts have been in terms of accuracy. Like, she's seriously good at financial analysis and presenting the Tesla bull case. So if you don't follow at Andrea S. James, now's a great time to do it. Here's one from Elon Musk replying to me. So let's click through here and see what Elon's replying to. I just said the Tesla growth story continues as the caption for my updated chart. I'll show you this big. So you can see, yeah, the revenue was more in 2023 than in prior years. The acceleration isn't as much, right? Like, this Q4 started more than halfway through Q4 here, but in a lot of prior years, Q4 began past the prior year's full year number. So you have more than a full quarter worth of additional revenue versus the prior year. So that happened here and here. It didn't happen here or here, but it did happen here and here, right? So more than half the time, Tesla begins Q4 having already made as much revenue year to date as they made the entire previous year. That didn't happen this year, and it is a result of the price cuts because the volume was up plenty year over year. way more than 33% volume increase, right? But the prices were down, so that's why this revenue number was only up 18.8%. Any legacy automaker would kill to have their revenue up 18.8% year over year. But that's not as good a number for Tesla as you can see it was the previous couple of years when they were able to charge higher prices on average. So what did Elon say? He said when unsupervised FSD significantly exceeds human safety levels and is approved by regulators, the numbers will get really crazy because we'll be adding in full self-driving subscription revenue here, which is in here already, but a whole lot more people will be buying it, and Tesla will be able to charge more for it because the market will demand a premium on the best available self-driving software for a car you can actually buy, right? Who else will sell you a car that can drive itself better than Tesla version 12 once it gets improved enough to be significantly safer than human beings? So some good comments here from James Catt and Dave Lee. If it ever reaches the point where it approaches unsupervised human safety levels, the consumer will not wait for regulators to approve it before making those numbers get crazy, in one humble cat's opinion. The market will react faster than the regulators do. Dave asking, can you push out V12 to at least the earliest group of FSD testers as soon as possible so folks get a balanced preview of its capabilities without having to rely on Omar making videos for us? I add parenthetically. So a lot of folks replied here. A lot of good folks in the comments. All right, let me back out of here and keep going with the next tweet that I liked. Yeah, there's one of them we just saw. Here's another tweet that Elon liked from me. This was a good short article quoting Elon's remarks about FSD yesterday, but I recommend listening to the entire earnings call for context. Elon liked that because you do need the context. Let me cheat this other window into the frame here. So this is a Benzinga article. I'll move this out of the way after I'm done. So let me scroll down here. CEO Elon Musk said on Wednesday during the company's fourth quarter earnings call that it has not entered into a full self-driving licensing agreement with any rival auto companies. FSD refers to the company's full self-driving software aimed at enabling autonomous driving. Loki gets fired up when he wants to talk about full self-driving. Let me make sure I keep him in the frame here. Though the company has had tentative conversations, no agreement has been entered into. I think rival automakers don't believe it's real quite yet, Musk said. I do want to emphasize that if I were CEO of another company, I would definitely be calling Tesla and asking to license Tesla full self-driving technology, Musk added. The CEO first expressed willingness to license Tesla's autopilot and FSD technologies to other car companies in June. I mean, he didn't first express willingness in June. He's expressed willingness for a long, long time. Oh, let me cheat these fun little images into the frame while they're bleeding into the frame a little bit. Oh, something fell over. It's okay. I had AI generate some fun images of a guy driving a Tesla with a Chihuahua. So that's what's going on over there. Okay, let me cheat that back out of the frame now. Tesla started rolling out version 12 of its FSD beta in the fourth quarter. The newest version of the software uses artificial intelligence to influence vehicle controls and is trained on data from over 1 million vehicles, as per Musk. I should have zoomed in here earlier. I don't know why HYLN needs to be big on the screen. Why it matters, in the fourth quarter, Tesla reported total revenue of $25 billion, up 3% year on year for the quarter, for just that one quarter for Q4. Revenue was impacted by lower FSD revenue year on year, the company said, while reasoning it as due to the wide release of FSD beta in North America in the fourth quarter of 2022. Musk also took to X after the earnings call to add that the company's revenue will get really crazy once FSD is approved by regulators. So I got to see my tweet on Benzinga, which is kind of fun. Photo courtesy Shutterstock. All right. No courtesy to me. I guess it's on the screen, so I got credit. Okay, so that's that. Let me minimize that out of the way, and we will keep looking at other stuff that I liked. Yeah, that tweet we just saw from James Catt. Here's one from Holmar's catalog, the aforementioned Omar at Holmar's blog. If Musk wasn't the way he was, there would be no shareholder value to destroy. The company would have folded by now. Yeah, so since I'm talking to a smaller audience in this video, I can say, or I can ask the question, how long do you think Tesla would have made it if Martin Eberhard had remained CEO of Tesla instead of Elon taking over? Do you think Martin Eberhard would have led Tesla to where it is today? Definitely not, in my opinion. So he's retweeting Joe Jayhawk complaining. So you can read that complaint if you want. Here's a tweet from Sawyer Merritt. I made a graph showing Tesla's global supercharger station growth since 2012. There are now about 6,000 stations with 55,000 plus charging stalls. So check this out. I could tell that this was a flourish chart from Sawyer Merritt that I had never seen him make before. So good on ya, Sawyer Merritt, making fun, captivating visuals. You got 175,000 views and 1,000 likes on. So good work, Sawyer. Here's one from Stephen Hart, who is typically leaving Tesla Q type comments on things. In this case, he tagged me saying, look who made the front page-ish of Benzinga. So he's the guy who made me aware. I don't read Benzinga, that I was in the article. They got your chart center stage, looks good, Steven said. And I had to reply with the Bazinga gif from Big Bang Theory. US TV show, for those of you who aren't familiar. Here's one from Bradford Ferguson at Brad S. Ferguson, executive producer of this program and owner of Rebellionaire.com. James Stevenson cringing every time Elon says emphasize rather than underscore. Yeah, it's true. I hear it every time he does it. It would be so easy for Elon Musk, I tagged him, to change it to I cannot underscore enough instead of I cannot emphasize enough, which he says a lot. Give emphasize a break. Come on, please. Please, Elon Musk. Switch it to I cannot underscore enough. It would help my brand, I think, a little bit. Here's one from Emmett Peppers. At Emmett Peppers, picked up Cybertruck Tuesday, didn't tell my kids, and then this happened. I apologize for the audio you're about to experience from somebody's cell phone, but you have to check out this video.
Hey, love bugs, what do you guys see turning in over there? It is. Oh my gosh, it's Dad. It's Dad. Yeah. We got you good. I wanted to surprise you. All right, let's go.
This video is not an hour long, I promise. Here comes the Cybertruck. So just listen to that reaction from the kids. To Emmett Peppers getting his Tesla Cybertruck. Sorry that video was sideways for most of it. I don't know how you can rotate a video that posted itself to X the wrong way. But yeah, congratulations, Emmett, on your Cybertruck. And you could tell from the reaction from those kids, this is not your average vehicle, right? They don't react that way when somebody pulls up in an F-150. All right, the next tweet here is from the Short Shorts historian. On this day 9 years ago, Homer Simpson met Elon Musk. Let's watch this video.
Oh my God. Brace yourselves, family. We're about to meet a being with intelligence far beyond ours. Boy, give me my baseball bat.
Hello, I'm Elon Musk.
Die!
What the?
Dad, no! Elon Musk is possibly the greatest living inventor.
You're the guy who put wheels on luggage? Oh, bless you, bless you.
I'm not that guy.
His company perfected electric cars and then gave away the patents. He changed the way Hollywood drives.
And now he's landed at our yard, on my son's bike and on our mailman's leg. Honey, guess who crushed me? I'll give you a hint. His first name is Elon. That's right.
Yeah, there aren't all that many famous Elons, so great stuff there, especially if you're a fan of The Simpsons. The next tweet that I liked came from Martin Vieca. At Martin Vieca, Model Y is, in my view, the best all-around car in the world today, and customers seem to agree. Retweeting Jan of the EV Universe at the EV Universe. Well, 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 how the turntables. It's one of the most fun captions I've seen in a long time. I'm pretty sure he stole that from a movie or a TV show or something. Pretty funny. Akio Toyota looking at this. I'm gonna lose. Yes, he is. Former Toyota CEO. In no way becoming CEO by virtue of nepotism, since his grandfather founded the company. Yeah, so I loved this graphic and saved it down in high resolution and posted it myself later on. Here's one from Roland Percher at Pilolly. I figured it was fair game to do that because Jan of the Universe did not create the image either. Jato did. Here's one from Roland Percher. BEV market share is growing every year, but how does Tesla's market share, all cars and not only BEV, compare? In Australia, for example, BEV share went from 3.1% in 2022 to 7.2% in 2023. That's a 131% increase, and Tesla's market share went from 1.8% to 3.8%. That's 109% growth. So here's all the tables with all the numbers on it, in case you would rather see them as numbers than on a chart. But here's the chart. I'll make it a little bit bigger for you, so you can pause and check this out if you want to. Iceland and Norway running away with Tesla market share up to 20%. 1/5 of all vehicles sold in Iceland and Norway were Teslas. Now, Iceland population is 350,000 people. So just to give you an idea of how many people that is, 80 times more people live in the state of Florida than live in the nation of Iceland. But yeah, Tesla with a commanding market share on the very small number of new vehicles sold per year in that country, relatively to all the other countries. But great work there from Roland. I'm so happy he makes those charts so I don't have to. Here's one from K10 at Kristen Netton. Some of you are probably wondering why I put on and only accounts you follow can reply at first. It's because it blocks the crypto bots from immediately replying and freezing my posts. It works. I liked this tweet so that I would remind myself to read it again later and remember that and try it the next time I'm posting something to see if I can get a lot more views on stuff that doesn't have hidden replies from crypto scam bots on it. Maybe that's going to be really helpful. She got 334 likes on this, so yeah, maybe it works. Here's another one from Martin. Congrats at Mr. James May. Watched your show all my childhood. Hope you like the car. You should get the performance one once that comes out. Ah, interesting. So, this is a Model 3 that James May, not subscribed to Twitter Blue is his caption. New car day, best screen protector unpeel ever. Yeah, it's a big screen with a big screen protector on it, so you get that satisfying sound of unpeeling protective plastic cover. Yeah, so there you go. Great tweet there. Here's one from Gally. The Tesla community is the best, like a big family. Sometimes we disagree, but everyone is so friendly and positive. Thinking of starting a hyperchange show / podcast where I interview different members of the community called Tesla Homies. Hashtag Tesla. So Alexandra Mertz replied, "You are the best, Gally. So glad that I get to know you better." So Gally replied, "Been awesome to talk hashtag Tesla with you on these last 2 podcasts." Do it. Do what? Do it now from Farzad. Yeah, that's great. So a lot of good replies here. I'm trying to get to mine. I think it's fantastic. Very nice. Do it from Stephen Mark Ryan. 69 likes. How do you like something that already has 69 likes on it? You can't do it. I replied with a 100 and a South Park gif. That's a great idea. It was either that gif or this one. Because if you remember the original post, he had said how nice the Tesla community is. So I thought it would be pretty funny to say boo instead. And I got Gally to laugh at that some. I thought I got Gally to laugh. Maybe it was a different post that I got Gally to laugh at. It's not here. Okay, so I'll back out of here. And we'll keep going with the next tweet that I liked. From Sawyer Merritt News, Ron Barron's son, David Barron, thinks Tesla could hit $1,200 per share by 2030. While he may not be growing 50% a year as the company thought, Barron said in an interview, this year in a tough environment, he's still growing volume by 15 to 20% per year and making us $7,000 per car of gross profit. Barron, 43, became co-portfolio manager in 2018 with his father. So, great call out there from Sawyer Merritt. Ron Barron has been a long-time believer in Tesla and had some pretty accurate calls himself for what kind of earnings we could expect from Tesla and what kind of market cap appreciation. There are gigantic differences in the effectiveness of R&D spending between companies, Elon replied to Sawyer, showing Tesla's annual R&D spend, captioning it in 2023, Apple spent $29 billion on R&D, a sum greater than the total amount Tesla has spent on R&D in the company's history. Really shows you how much innovation Tesla extracts per R&D dollar spent. Alexandra put a comparison table here. Well, let's check this out. I didn't see this until just now. So here's Tesla's R&D spend growing to more than $1 billion for the first time in Q3 of 2023. NVIDIA spends about $2 billion every quarter. Apple about $7 billion. Microsoft about $7 billion. Meta, Facebook, spending $9 billion per quarter for what? What please tell me in the comments below what Meta products you think are worth having spent $37.7 billion on R&D over the last year. Over the last year, what improvements have they made? And here's Google at $10 billion per quarter. And they still can't figure out YouTube. I kid. All right, here's me. Hashtag Toyota Woven City comes to mind. Curvy sidewalks, floating orbs, food trucks, apartments. If you never saw this video from Toyota, when Akio Toyoda was the CEO, this is what they were blowing their R&D spending on. Curvy sidewalks. Yeah, that's right. Are those curvy enough? No, we need to curve them more. let's take the curvy sidewalk and then curve it and then bow it outwards. That's innovation right there, folks. Look at this. Who needs to buy a car from Toyota when you can buy an apartment complex? Or rent from them, I guess. So there's a vehicle. That's what you're supposed to be doing, Toyota. You're supposed to be making better vehicles, hopefully electric vehicles. There's a little bot, you see, delivering a package. In a longer version of this video, there were like underground tunnels where there were robots moving around, shuffling stuff around. There's a drone. Very poor computer graphics by today's standards. That's what their R&D department was putting out. And there's your floating orbs, and there's your food trucks. And that's Toyota's R&D innovation that they were so proud of at hashtag CES 2020. They really wanted to let people know how much bang for the buck their R&D team was delivering. So glad I got to show you that video. The audio is worthless on that clip, so you're happier to have had my voiceover narration. All right, here's one from Elon Musk. XAI is not raising capital, and I have had no conversations with anyone in this regard. Replying to X Daily, tweeting the Financial Times reported XAI is seeking investments up to $6 billion. So if you heard that news, that is fake news. Awesome when Elon can call stuff out like that as fake news. Here's one from 28 Delays Later, Earl of Frunkpuppy. It's time to vote for the hashtag Frunkpuppy Pick of the Week. Vote in the poll below in the first comment. 3 million Floki tokens to the winner. Look at all these pets in Cybertrucks. So we have a vault now that you can put your pets in instead of needing to cram them into a frunk. There's Remy. Remy's pretty cute. There's Tough hanging out in the frunk of that Model 3, looks like. There's Dory and Max also in the vault of a Cybertruck. So pretty cool to see Cybertruck owners already with... Now, what's the house situation happening here? Is this a plate glass window here, or can they drive their Cybertruck into their house? Or is there a funny perspective trick happening here? Doesn't that look like they have driven this Cybertruck partially into the interior of a house? It's kind of what it looks like to me. If you know what's going on there, let me know in the comments below. Here's another one from Galileo Russell. Gally at GFilchy. Bro, this Wells Fargo analyst question at the end of the Tesla call about where tax rates are trending. Boring AF and such a waste of everyone's time. Honestly surprised that 6 years after Let's Go to YouTube, Wall Street is still allowed on the call asking rookie questions. I had to reply with a 100 emoji. Hashtag this is so dry. Hashtag boring boneheaded questions are not cool. Hashtag let's go to YouTube. That's the one, Gally replied, laughing at. I replied, if you know, you know. And that is what Elon said on the call immediately before saying let's go to YouTube, and then bringing on Galileo Russell, who asked him, I don't know, 9 or 10 great questions that were super fun for Elon to answer and talk about the future for Tesla, not dumb, cash and expense questions from the previous quarter. Here's K10 tweeting a video saying, I love Ari Emanuel's gloss black Cybertruck. Great taste. Yeah, check it out. I don't know who Ari Emanuel is, but he's got a great-looking Cybertruck. Now, Marquez Brownlee would not have wrapped his this way. He doesn't do gloss black. He does matte black everything. He doesn't care for the mirror finish. But I think it looks pretty sweet. There's that tweet we already saw from Gally. Here's one from Electro Timmy. I've been seeing a bunch of videos complaining about the new driver monitoring system, but every driver seems to mess it up. Here are a few tips to avoid getting a strike and not getting beeped. So this would go on Ryan McCaffrey's Ride the Lightning podcast in the segment Pro Tips, the pro tip of the week. So here you go. These are your tips if you don't want to get beeped at by FSD immediately after you turn it on or thereafter. Keep your hands on the wheel and apply gentle torque in one direction. Keep your eyes on the road. Do this immediately after activating autopilot. It's very important. The monitoring is most strict in the first seconds after activation. So NHTSA must have told Tesla, hey, in some of these accidents, people are turning on FSD and then immediately not paying attention to the road. And so you need to make sure instantly that they're watching the road. That way you can beep at them right away to remind them you're supposed to be watching the road. So that's how it works now. If you're not looking at the road right away when you engage, it beeps at you. Don't wiggle the steering wheel like a lunatic. Don't activate autopilot while holding a phone in your hand. Look at the road every few seconds when you're using the screen. If you follow that from the start, just gently applying torque during the drive is enough, and you can even shoot a video without getting beeped, as demonstrated here. So there you go. Those are your tips. If you don't like getting beeped at by full self-driving, follow these tips. That's Electro at ElectroTimmy with a K instead of a C for ElectroTimmy. Here's another one from Elon replying to WR for NYGov. That's Warren Redlick, fellow rebellionaire. People who think Elon was negative about Dojo don't speak Elon. Low probability of success is what he said about SpaceX and Tesla when they were startups. The important detail is they're already working on versions 1.5, 2, and 3 of Dojo. Elon replied, my estimate of the probability of success at the beginning of both Tesla and SpaceX was less than 10%. He gave both companies a single-digit probability of succeeding. The reason people telling me we would probably fail didn't dissuade me was that I already agreed with them. Yep, they were unable to convince Elon that there was a low likelihood of success because he had already convinced himself of that and decided it was still worth doing anyway. On the chance that they succeeded, it would have been worth it. All right. Next, a tweet from Mayor Talker at Fresh Jiva. I'm really not sure why people focus so much time on gross margins. Sure, it's an interesting metric that tells you something about a business, but the value of a company is not based on margins directly. The value of a business is determined entirely by future free cash flow dollars. Growth is greater than margins, and ROIC determines whether that profitability covers the cost of capital efficiently. Sure, increasing margins can mean faster growth and higher ROIC, but it's also possible for growth to accelerate with decreasing margins. Ultimately, growth and ROIC reign supreme. No other metric matters nearly as much. You want to invest in companies that have a future. You want to invest in companies that are growing because they can grow earnings. If the earnings get bigger in the future, you will have made a better investment than if you invest in some company that is already at maturity and unable to grow. Probably. Next is a tweet from Franz von Holzhausen at Woodhouse2. Was stuck in the future, retweeting Cybertruck, asking him, think you lost something? Yes, this is a matte black Cybertruck, not a gloss black Cybertruck. Here's one from S.E. Robinson Jr. Why isn't this across all socials in the Americas and Europe? Tesla needs to let the world know. This video by Tesla China shouts out Tesla's achievements for 2023, including 1.8 million vehicles delivered, Model Y being the best-selling car in the world, and more. All right, good stuff there. Next, a tweet from Tesla Economics, my Venom Tesla. I had to do a triple take on this to see if this was a real car before realizing this is an AI-generated image with a Tesla Economics logo on it down here. and a venom tongue sticking out of the wheel, which is an unlikely feature for a finished automobile. But a cool looking image anyhow, with all the graffiti artwork behind it. Next to another tweet from Martin Vieca. He was on fire this week. 3 liked tweets from me. Many people have been asking me, how is the manufacturing process of the next-gen vehicle different from traditional auto manufacturing? Watching this video is easier to follow than describing it verbally. Retweeting Michelle LB, the unboxed process thread. Tesla Model Y is used in this video as a placeholder to explain the process without spoiling the actual next-gen vehicle. So, yeah, there you go. This is the idea for how you would manufacture a car in pieces, and then put those pieces together at the end to assemble it. That way you need less space for your factory, and you can work faster with people surrounding smaller cars instead of having to stand at opposite ends of a completed car, or a car that's still all in one piece, I guess I should say. All right. The next tweet that I liked came from Earl of Frunk Puppy at 28 delays later, me causing drama on X. So here's this dog. The fire department has been called out. So we're going to need to grab this dog and then use the jaws of life. Except that that dog's head was never stuck in the first place. He just wanted to stand there with his head poking through the grill. What he didn't want was for somebody to put a loop around his neck. So funny. Causing drama on X. Earl. It's just great. Here's Hallmar's catalog retweeting me. Tweeting the best-selling car in the world is a Tesla. By saying, these are dark days for the brand, and then laughing. I had to reply to that. Tesla should really be doing a lot better than number one, the media. That's what the media will tell you. Yeah, Tesla's such a disappointment. They only have the best-selling car in the world. They should be doing a lot better than that. So let's see. Is there something else? Yeah, Chris Dungeon asked, how can an EV be the world's best-selling vehicle when the mainstream media tells us EV sales are collapsing? Hashtag S for sarcastic comment. And I replied, it really makes you think. Using Will Ferrell. You can usually count on Will Ferrell to be a high-quality GIF. If you're looking for a good GIF, Will Ferrell, Steve Carell, John Mulaney. These are all solid bets. So there's that tweet we just saw. Here's one from Matt Smith. Impersonation defense does nothing yet, FYI. Also, the reporting process is a major pain. Matt here is calling out Elon Musk for claiming that it's worth it. Retweeting Doge designer at CB_Doge. Annual plan for verified organizations is now live on X. It costs $10,000 per year and comes with free $10,000 advertising credits. And then if you click through here, benefits, double your reach, gold checkmark and square profile picture, priority support, impersonation defense, Twitter Premium Plus, hiring, affiliations, and more. So here's Matt showing off all the Matt Chasm Matt impersonators. This one's the real one. It's got the blue check mark and the Rebellionaire badge. There's a Matt Chasm Matt OK. Here's a Matt Chasm Matt with an E at the end. Here's a Matt Chasm 1 Matt, a Matt Chasm Matt X, Matt Chasm Matt at, and a Matt Chasm Matt underscore. So there you go. That's how well impersonation defense works. I had to reply, he's right, you know, with an up-pointing arrow here. James Dalma saying, you're very popular. Also funny. All right, so anybody who says we always agree with Elon, there's proof that we don't. Here's one from Kendall. This is Kendall Richley, at K Richley on Twitter. Had a fun night at the Peterson Museum with Mrs. Richley. Hashtag Tesla, hashtag Cybertruck. This is the one they shot with all the bullets. So that's cool that this one made it to the Peterson Museum and is not getting destroyed like a bunch of other ones that are going to junkyards. to get crushed. I hope they don't destroy their car crushing machine trying to crush a Cybertruck. Maybe they have to disassemble it some other way so that they don't destroy their car crusher. But that's what's happening, we know, from a 4K podcast tweet. Here's one from the other executive producer of this program, Kathy Kitchler, at Kathy Kitchler on X. Nissan's honesty in admitting their EVs aren't competitive is refreshing. I agree. She's replying to me saying, need to enhance product competitiveness. Yes, that's right. You have clarity on the current EVs offered by Nissan. They have delayed the launch of 2 US-made electric vehicles. In a supplier memo obtained by Automotive News, Nissan cited the need to enhance product competitiveness for the latest delay. They are holding off on making EVs until they can make better EVs. That is the right strategy. Make good EVs, and then you won't have to worry about whether they will sell. People will want to buy them if the value proposition is attractive. Here's one from Julien Villamasson. Let's not forget that the Corolla is actually different cars sold under the same name. The USA version is longer than the EU version. All right, so here's a Corolla, and here's a totally different Corolla. Let's click through here and see the other examples that he gave. Let's scroll. I thought there were more here. Show more replies. I don't know why that got hidden. So there's one of the Corollas. Here's a different Corolla. Here is a Corolla. There is obviously a different Corolla, right? These are not the same car. Model 3 and Model Y are more similar to each other than these two cars are. They just have the word Corolla in the name of both. That's not the same car. All right, so good points being made there, which is why I like that. Yeah, here's one from Brian White, My Tesla Weekend at 4K Podcast, a man of many brands. Cybertruck is only Tesla's best product so far. Retweeting Gail Alfar, is this your Cybertruck? Maybe. This one will make its way to its new owner. Every Cybertruck is made to bring new owners joy, safety, and the best tech ever. As Elon Musk said, that's our best product ever. I'll click through here and show you my reply. I was reminded of this classic, from again from The Simpsons. This is the worst day of my life, says Bart. The worst day of your life so far, says Homer. All right, here's one from Will at Tesla Jigsaw. Strangest comment of the day goes to OPM Devil. Sorry, yeah, I know you're doing Tesla videos and all, but one argument for fuel driver cars is vroom vroom. You are completely forgetting the vroom vroom factor here. That is priceless. When you drive next to lovely girls in the parking lot and you have that Datsun 100A and you go vroom vroom, they all go and say that you are so lovely and they want to ride with you and have your babies. If you try to do the same with your Tesla, the car does not go vroom vroom. It goes wee and goes away. So, no noise, no girls, and that's a bad thing if you don't get the girls, mate. Replying here, thankfully, I have an intelligent wife who doesn't need vroom vroom. So how do you not like that tweet? I gave that one a like. Here's one from Carson Moore. I was the only one who liked this one, so let's click through here and scroll on up. The post was originally from Carson Moore at Carson M 82668557. Never seen this account before, I don't think. Tagging me, hey James, have you ever thought of making a course on how to read an income statement, explaining what each line item includes and how they correlate with one another, following it up with examples, etc.? I would totally pay for that. I replied, before you pay for anything, see if you like this explainer crash course from Bill Ackman. I'm never going to make a video that good, meaning with production quality this good, that he got from the Big Think, doing his extremely economical video. Like, this video is only 43 minutes and he covers a tremendous amount of ground. Like, you don't get a lot of information about each of the topics covered, but you get a ton of topics covered in 43 minutes. So it's a very lightweight, compact crash course on financials and investing. I can't believe they were able to pack so much into such a short video. So everything you need to know about finance and investing in under an hour by William Ackman is what you need to look up on YouTube. Carson replying, thanks so much, James. I had no idea Bill Ackman put this out for free. We'll give it a few watches. Yeah, if you want to understand business and you didn't get a business degree from college, or even if you did and you want a refresh, it's a great video. I recommend, as I recommended it here to Carson. Here's one from Lincoln. Just finished my first race, 5K, ran the whole way. That's a success. I haven't run that far in decades, literally. Go me, with his 5K penguin that he got for completing the race here. That's pretty great. Good work by Lincoln. Here's one from CERN Basher. Tesla's regulatory credits, the gift that keeps on giving. While many analysts tend to minimize the revenue generated by zero-emission vehicle regulatory credits received by Tesla from other automakers, it is important to consider the significance of this income. There's a chart here that reminds me of my Elon Musk stock compensation expense chart. Tesla cumulative regulatory credits in millions of dollars by CERN Basher here. So check out these regulatory credits. Looks pretty great. So I'll scroll down here. Since 2018, Tesla has spent almost $28 billion in capital expenditures, but a significant portion of this was free. So let's check out this chart of capital expenditures. The blue section is competitor funded. So there's the regulatory credits revenue. And you can tell what fraction of Tesla's capital spending was money gifted to Tesla by competitors who needed to buy regulatory credits because they didn't sell enough EVs to comply with applicable law. Although it is true that this revenue stream may eventually vanish, disregarding the value of regulatory credit earnings fails to acknowledge a crucial aspect. I'll let you look at this chart for a second. So more than a quarter of Tesla's capital expenditures have been funded by competitors. An alternative perspective reveals Tesla's competitors are essentially contributing to a portion of Tesla's capital expenditures, enabling the company to expand its capacity and accelerate its growth. Since Q3 2018, Tesla has accumulated an impressive $7.5 billion in regulatory credits, covering approximately 27% of their $28 billion in capital expenditures during that period. This strategic utilization of competitors' support to build more than 1/4 of their manufacturing capacity exemplifies Tesla's shrewd business approach. Great tweet there, great charts. Visuals always help your information be more memorable for people. If they see a good visual, they will remember it later. Here's another one from Earl, #TeslaQ, about to finish off Tesla once and for all. Let's check it out. Here they are. They're really going to test their strength. Oh, yeah. That's a quality GIF. All right. Here's one from Mark Anthony. This looks so badass. It genuinely feels like a movie. Retweeting Zach at BLKMDL3. Cybertrucks taking over the freeway. We had 7 Cybertrucks in total at the Tesla owners Silicon Valley event today. Off to our Canyon cruise at ACH. At Cybertruck, tagging the Cybertruck account here to show you 3 Cybertrucks cruising past you on the highway. Pretty great. All right, here's one from Neil Bolton, also from The Driven. Toyota chairman and the grandson of the company's founder, Akio Toyoda, has told Toyota's in-house publication, Toyota Times, no matter how much progress BEVs make, I think they will still only have a 30% market share. Then the remaining 70% will be HEVs, hybrid, fuel cells, and hydrogen engines. Wait, which one's this? HEVs, FCEVs, and hydrogen engines. Well, tell me. Oh yeah, hybrid and hydrogen. All right, I'm with it. I said it myself, and then I immediately forgot. And I think engine cars will definitely remain R.I.P. Toyota. He's dead, Jim. Good classic Star Trek gif. And here's that tweet I teased from Brian. The engineer I talked to, who was lucky enough to be driving an early model for the weekend, told me it would not be sold or sent to a museum, but ultimately decommissioned once the iterative changes were sufficient to render continued tests incomparable. This appears to be that. I was disappointed to read that that's the solution for a bunch of the early prototype candidate Cybertrucks. They're just too different from regular Cybertrucks or have too many miles on them or whatever. And Tesla is going to decommission them like they are this one here that you see at the junkyard. So I replied, brace yourself, FUD is coming with the requisite Game of Thrones gif here, because Tesla Q is going to hammer this point. You know it for sure, that Cybertrucks are already going to the junkyard. Here's one from Alexandra, log scale. That's kind of cute. Retweeting SI Barrick at Barrick_SI, log scale, Tesla's whole history. So you can see, if you chart Tesla from the very beginning, when you could buy Tesla shares for $1 back in 2010. I think the third day after IPO, you could buy Tesla for $1.10. That's the lowest it's ever been for sale. That's split adjusted. So you can see here in 2013, there was a huge leg up, and then really traded flat for 5 years. And then there was the 2019-2020 increase that you see there. Then there was this little crash that we saw. Oh, I probably have my timelines messed up there. Here's the mammoth revaluing here. That's got to be 2019 to 2020. There's the peak in 2021. Here's the trough, the beginning of 2022. And here's where we are today. So check it out on the technical chart. The trend is up and to the right still. The long-term trend is up and to the right for Tesla stock. It doesn't always feel like it when it trades sideways for a period of years, but if you look back at the history, when it trades sideways for a few years is when you're supposed to be buying it before it rises a lot. You don't get a lot of time to buy it on the way up, and it costs more on the way up than it would have if you had bought it while it was still trading sideways. So that's the lesson you see there in the reply to Alexandra, with a straight scale chart here showing some bands around it of when it was a good price for Tesla versus when it was not as good a price. Sorry, folks who bought in November 2021, folks who waited until November 2021 to buy, because the stock price hasn't gotten back there yet. But you've had sale prices to take advantage of since, is the other way to look at it if you plan on buying and holding for decades. All right, here's another one from Cern Basher. Tesla, the profitability of selling an EV. In Q4 2023, Tesla made an average $7,233 in gross profit per vehicle sold. Here's what that number looks like against prior years when Tesla was making more. This is still a whole lot more than competitors make when they sell vehicles. During the quarter, average selling price was $43,000, and the cost to make an EV was $36,000. Both contributing to the long-term downtrend, making EVs more affordable. It doesn't cost as much to buy an EV as it used to, which is great news for EV adoption, EV buyers. And because the cost has been coming down by so much, Tesla still makes a profit selling them at those lower prices. This chart shows the quarterly increase or decrease in the cost to make an EV from an average of $54,000 to $36,000 over just 21 quarters. That's just over 5 years. By my math, a 33% drop. While cost declines don't happen in a straight line, that's an average cost decline of $855 per quarter. That's pretty remarkable, folks. This is now, some of that is mix. You're selling more 3 and Y, less S and X, so your average gets some help from the sales mix. This chart shows the quarterly increase or decrease in the average selling price from an average of $70,000 to $43,000, a 38% decline. Again, while price declines don't happen in a straight line, that's an average price decline of $1,200 per quarter. Again, with mix in there. S and X have always been priced higher than 3 and Y. So as they become a smaller fraction of the mix, yeah, the average selling price is going to decline. Okay, here's one from Jeff Lutz. It appears most Tesla Wall Street analysts suffer from Pavlov's dog theory. When they hear price cuts, they start salivating but in fear of margins versus doing the critical thinking around COGS deflation happening faster than price. By the way, this has been true since the latter half of Q2 last year and obfuscated by the Q3 plant shutdowns for upgrades, but proven true in Q4 23 by a wide margin. With volumes continuing to rise, input costs falling, and Tesla's relentless cross-functional focus on cost, COGS reductions will continue in force. Well, let me see. Oh, yes, that's just your Pavlov's dog explainer. You can pause and read if you want to. I'll click through here and see if there was a reply to this. I believe Tesla will continue cutting prices, but also cutting COGS at a commensurate or higher rate. Well, pump the brakes on that one. Tesla told us the rate of COGS improvement should not be expected to continue declining at the same rate. Also, keep in mind they'll want some MSRP separation with the $25,000 vehicle, so they won't let the 3 and Y fall too much. Here's a reply from MiningFi. Hey Jeff, I often wonder what Tesla's margins would look like if they ran their company even leaner, if they had to, with no money being reinvested back into the growing the company and R&D, etc., but just trying to maximize margins. Maybe you or James could do a video on it. I replied, there isn't much to be gained trying that approach. It's far more difficult and risky to try saving your way to profit growth than it is to grow your way. That's what you want to do. You want to grow your way to more profitability. You don't want to try saving your way to more profitability. So Tesla's approach is the right one. Here's another one from Earl. So many banger tweets lately. Elon fans sharing the same video, hoping to get an Elon like or comment, with these little baby goats playing King of the Mountain on an upside down plastic bucket. That's pretty funny. Here's one from Open Skies. This is our last tweet this week. So I still can't believe he actually said it at Open Skies X. Tesla, our nation's largest electric vehicle manufacturer.
Ford building out new electric vehicle production to Tesla, our nation's largest electric vehicle manufacturer.
There you go. That's all you need to hear. Very rare to get credit from the president for Tesla, but he did include them in a speech somebody else undoubtedly wrote. Because Tesla is not a unionized workforce, and President Biden, as everyone knows, loves the unions and playing to them in his public speeches. And that is my video for today, so we'll check back in with Loki, who is in his bed, curled up and sleeping. And I will thank you for subscribing to me at this time, and say thank you for being a subscriber, especially my two executive producers, Kathy Kitchler and Rebellionaire.com, and I'll see you in next week's episode.